Hello, I'm back to do prompts numbers 8 to 14 for the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge by Ethany. And I'll have her original post with the prompts listed down below. So, day 8 is super exciting. It's top 5 tarot decks on my wish list now. So, let me shimmy over. Okay, the number 1 spot on my wish list goes to 2 tarot decks. The first one is the Hayworth Tarot, and I really, really want this one because it's based on my favorite podcast, Welcome to Night's Vale. So, right off the top of the list, but together with that one is the Spirit Keepers Tarot. I've been wanting this one for a really long time. I like all of the extra materials that are included with it, and that Benable Wen has really thought about all the symbolism in it, and there's a huge community behind this deck. I've missed out on the first 2 editions, so I'm really hoping that I can catch the third one that's coming up. A couple of others, or I guess 3 more, that are on my wish list are the Botan Tarot. I've seen a lot of walkthroughs and it looks gorgeous, as well as the Rainbow Heart Tarot. I like the aesthetic of it and how inclusive it is. I'm not a fan of bigger cards, so that one's tentatively on my list. But if I can get my hands on the groovy weight, I might prefer that one just for the size. And finally, the Mystic Masters Tarot by Danny Mystic. She's one of the channels I've been following for a while, and it's really cool that she has a deck out. It's not available to me where I am now, so hopefully when I get to a part of the world where I can get my hands on it, it's still available. Alright, so let's move back. And prompt number 9, or day 9, the prompt is Tarot Goals for 2021. So I have a continuing goal from last year, which is to read for strangers. I've definitely broken out of my comfort zone a little bit this past year in 2020. I read for more colleagues and kind of acquaintances, but I'm still not fully comfortable reading for just strangers. So I hope that that's a goal I can achieve in 2021. And I'd also like to take some sort of tarot course. I don't have one in mind. I'm just kind of waiting, seeing if anything pops out at me or really resonates with me, and then I would take that course. All right, day 10. The prompt is, if you could design a 79th card that everyone would use, what would it look like and what would it represent? So I bounced some ideas around in my head for this one, and the first kind of couple of things that came to mind are the void and nothingness or emptiness. And those will represent exactly what they say. But I wanted to think of something that has more of a visual aspect to the card instead of just like a black card or a white card. So I thought perhaps a 79th card titled Your Shadow, like the literal shadow that's attached to you. And the image would be of someone with a shadow behind them or in front of them. And this would represent kind of the things that you hold on to or that hold on to you during the day or during the times of light, but that disappear at night. And just to kind of question what is truly necessary or why are those things necessary during the day and not during the night. I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking for the 79th card anyway. For day 11, the prompt is tarot decks that you want to work with more in 2021. And I didn't want to overwhelm myself with a lot of decks or a lot of projects. So this one, I chose 2 main decks that I want to work with. And this first one here, I've already started working with in the past year. And it's the CBD Tarot Morse. It's a reproduction based on the Conver deck. There we go. And I chose this deck to study Marseille with because it's mass produced, it's by US Games, and it's really cheap and affordable. And there's also a guidebook that goes with it. It's not perfect in that there are things that are changed or there are changes that were made, but they are all explained and outlined in the text, the Tarot de Marseille revealed. So everything's explained. If there's any changes, those are stated very clearly, and it's also stated why those changes were made. And I just find reading with this deck a little difficult. I don't get any kind of intuitive hits, and I'm not sure why that is, but it is a nice deck. It's a nice cardstock. I really like the backs, and because it's so crisp and clear, it makes for a really nice study deck. So I will continue working with the Tarot de Marseille throughout 2021. I want to get really comfortable with it to the point where reading with this deck is nice and easy for me. Along those lines, I also have two more Marseille style decks or base decks that are just aesthetically more pleasing to me. This one is the Trionfi de la Luna by Patrick Valenza. And although aesthetically I really like this deck, the issue is that the majors are all very different from the Marseille. But the pips stay pretty true, just changing some of the imagery to fit the theme. So yeah, this one for me is a lot easier to read, and I think that's because visually there's a lot more going on that I can use my intuition with. Yeah, so that is one other deck. And the second one I have is this Tarot de Maria Celia in a tin. And this one I really love. I use this one a lot. It's super easy for me to read. With Patrick Valenza's deck, I kind of have to be in the mood. But this one, it doesn't matter the time of year, what kind of mood I'm in. It always works. The colors are a bit softer. There's got a watercolor look to them. They do stay pretty true to the Marseille. And yeah, I love this one. But like I said, I do really want to get more into the studying of the Marseille and not just reading them intuitively like I have been. So my goal, again, is to use both of these decks in conjunction with the study deck that I have here and just really understand, any changes that were made, why they were made, any differences between all these three decks, and just really studying them and really understanding them. So the other deck I want to work with more in 2021, I'm still saying 2020, wow, is the Robin Wood Tarot. And I want to work more with this one this year because I recently got a digital copy of the guidebook for this deck, and I was amazed at how every little detail is outlined. Nothing isn't talked about in the extended guidebook. For example, in the Fool, each of these butterflies signifies something different, the past, present, and future. They're all in their positions for a certain reason. The pant legs are like this for a reason. They represent the masculine and the feminine, and they're swapped legs, and that has a meaning. The colors of this vest have a meaning. There's literally not a single detail in any of these images that have not been put there for a reason, and the extended guidebook gets into all those reasons. So my project will be to write down all the symbolism for every card and kind of compare it to some of the other decks that I enjoy using. Yeah, so that is the Robin Wood Tarot and how I want to work with it more in 2021. And I have one more deck here, but this one is a kind of maybe I'll work with it, maybe I won't, and that is the Alchemical Tarot. And the reason is because I don't have the book and I've been having trouble finding the book. So if I can find it, and if I can have it delivered to me, then I will definitely work more with this deck because it intrigues me so much. It really draws me in. But when I try to read with it, there's just no way. This is one of those decks that I think there's too much here that I don't understand to really work with it. And something about the style of this imagery and the symbolism used, I guess a combination of the style of art and the image and the symbolism, really prevents me from using my intuition. For example, the Thoth deck, I don't know everything about it. I've read some introductory books about it, but I have a lot more studying to do on the Thoth. But I can use that deck no problem. Whereas this one, I would love to, but it's just not working for me right now. So I definitely need to get the guidebook by Robert Emplace and give it a good read and a good study. If I can get the book, I'll do that. If not, it's there. It's on the back burners. Mostly, I just want to focus on these two decks here, the Marseille and the Robin Wood, with their accompanying books that I already have. So yeah, that was prompt number. Ooh, what prompt number was it? Prompt number 11. So number 12 is the Oracle decks that I want to work with more in 2021. I have two here. One is the Rebel deck, the Oracle. And this one is simply just because it was a gift to me for Christmas this year. So I just haven't worked with it much. I want to work with it more and see how I can integrate it with my readings and with some of my other decks. And the other one that I have is a similar problem I'm having with the Alchemical Tarot, is that I don't have the accompanying book. This is the Supra Oracle. And I did study some psychology in university, so I get some of these concepts. And when I don't, I can look online and get some feel for them. I really like this art. I like the symbology. I like the keywords or titles. So I really do just need to use it more and maybe look into getting the accompanying book for it. So those are the two Oracle decks I'd like to work with more in 2021. Prompt number 13 is, do you have any tarot self-care rituals that are only for your practice? And I guess I do, kind of. I did forget to bring the deck out though, so give me a second. I'll pause the video and be right back. Every so often, at least once a month, at most 4 times a month, I will pull a card from the Neo Tarot and do the accompanying self-care that's in the book. Here is the Knight of Cups, and the self-care ritual is dream journaling. For a prompt like this, I might just pull a card once a month because dream journaling is pretty intense. I don't remember all my dreams and so on. But if the activity is easier, like for the Ten of Pentacles, it's call a trusted friend or family member. I'll do that, and then next week I can pull another card. Let's do one more example here. The Chariot. And the self-care ritual is to go barefoot for a little while. So it's fun. It's inconvenient packaging. The deck goes in here, and the book's really stuck on here. But I think the activities are really useful, and I haven't come upon one that I didn't want to do or that I couldn't do. So yes, the Neo Tarot for my self-care rituals. I'm not sure if you would call them rituals, self-care practices or activities, maybe. Day 14. The prompt is, what is your go-to tarot book and why? So I have a couple of here. The first one is the Marseille Revealed, and it's an online copy I have of it, so I can't show it to you, but definitely because I've been studying the Marseille and I'm going to continue doing so in 2021. So it's definitely one of the books I turn to the most. There's a lot in there too that I can jump off of. When they're talking about the history and other decks, I can definitely look up more about the stuff that's mentioned in the book. The other one is the book of Sechet, and I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Seshet, and it's the guidebook that comes with the Rosetta Tarot. Now, I don't have the deck, and I don't have a physical copy of the book either, but on the app, there's a copy of the guidebook, and it's a really good guidebook, actually. I like that, and I'm recording on my phone, so I can't show you, but in front of each card, there's a little blurb that lists a lot of information. For example, the majors are linked to their element, their planet, their Hebrew letter, chakra, the tree of life path, and then the book continues to explain briefly how the cards connect to those things. And again, it's just one of those books that are really easy to jump off of. And if there's something in particular that sticks or I'm really curious about, I can further look that up online or with some other sources. So those would be my two go-to tarot books of recent times. And those are all the prompts that I'm going to cover in this video. I'll catch you next time for the next 7 or so prompts. Until then, stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.